and I'm going to go and do some readings, okay? But I wanted to come and talk to you guys about um, those of you that feel like you may have been cursed, okay? Or that you're dealing with some kind of curse. And how sometimes, especially when you have like a male that may be bothering you or something, you know what I'm saying? Like male energy, okay? Which to me, it's not male energy. To me, it's something different, you know what I'm saying? But right now, especially, and I mean, not even right now, for quite some time now, we have been dealing with patriarchy and misogyny, okay? And I think that a lot of people have tried to make it seem like it's like a curse. It's more of like bondage or a binding, which I guess you could say that that is a curse, but it's mainly more so um like a collective consciousness, which makes it a little bit more serious. It makes it more serious than a curse, than just a curse that you can reverse or remove. Honestly, curses, the element that's needed to remove a curse would be fire, would remove a curse, right? Fire, water, okay? Mainly, fire and water is going to move a curse away from you. It's going to cleanse it off of you, okay? The thing of it is that we have a lot of like male patriarchal, almost secret societies that's operating every single day, which is why it is extremely important to not support that energy. It's extremely important not to feed it. And I think that a lot of women have a tendency to feed that with their jealousy, right? Those types of male groups are being fed. And this is the reason why you cannot fall for it and have anything to do with it, because they're feeding something. They're feeding something, and they've been feeding something. Almost like if you get a lodestone and you feed it the lodestone food, that's what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? And so this is one of the reasons why the women that buy into that or feed into it with their energy, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like up, big up in men like that. This is the reason why they're highly frowned upon, because they're feeding that energy with hate and jealousy. So now you have something that is extremely negative and toxic that is against you. And so basically what ends up happening, and what's been happening in particular for like the past year, hardcore. Okay, but it's been going on for several years, and it's just been building and building and building, is that um that negativity, that hate, which it's death. Any type of misogyny or patriarchy, what it does is it pushes women into servitude, into like a space where you can't speak up and you can't say nothing. There's many, many, many elements that they have put into it. If you notice that one of the elements that they put into it is, and this has been something that's been surfacing, and something that I've actually been fighting for quite some time now, is the fact that you can't speak out, right? You're wondering, okay, why is it that I'm vocal, I'm being vocal about it, and it's almost like nobody will believe me. Okay. And nobody takes it seriously. You know what I'm saying? Like, that energy has been very toxic to you. It's made you more tired than normal. You may have back pain, you may be worried about your health. You may be, it's several things that may be happening, and that is because that energy is so toxic and it leads to death, because everybody on this planet plays their part. Everybody. When you're looking at gender roles, men and women both play their part. And when women are not being allowed to put their input in it, then there's an issue, because there's a difference between male energy and there's a difference between female energy. They were trying to create gender fluidity. Well, that really is a mistake, because I think that that causes confusion. So basically, when a woman's input is not put into something, you're going to get very tired, because when your feminine energy is being oppressed, when feminine energy is being oppressed globally, that's going to create a problem. And the men that are doing that, they are making a huge mistake. um and it goes along the lines of religion. So that's why you're seeing people talk more against religion. Like a few years ago, like I would say probably somewhere around 2020, people began to conform more so with religion again. And I mean hardcore. And what did it do? It didn't really do anything for many people. It didn't. I'm not going to tell y'all why, but it didn't do anything for anybody. It did nothing. It didn't. What it did though was it put men in a position to where they were treated better, to where men could more so benefit. Okay. But now a lot of these men are very misogynist, they're very egotistical. So now we're dealing with another falsehood that men are more important, which we all are important. Okay. We all are. So here's the thing about it. The way that you have to fight this, you know what I'm saying? The way that you have to fight it, it is a daily thing these days. It is. It's a daily thing. It takes daily meditations. And by the way, guys, I saw a very good shout out to Cynthia G. I saw, and I'm going to finish watching that today because it's very empowering, especially for women. She was responding to the 20 Christians versus one spiritualist video. And Cynthia G made a lot of sense. A lot of sense. Okay. Because it's not good for us. Okay. I'm going to be honest with you. I tolerate religion. I tolerate it. I love the people. I love people that are religious. I love them. I have family that are very religious that have tried to tell me something, even though I know the truth. My significant other is religious. Okay. However, the thing of it is that the thing of it is that it's imbalanced. That's the problem with religion. It represents an imbalance, and it hasn't done what it said it's going to do for people. In fact, what we've seen since people have went back to religion the past 6 years, is we have seen people decline. We have seen a decline totally. It's done nothing for people. It hasn't. And nobody wants to admit to that. Nobody wants to admit to that. Okay. That's just like yesterday, what we were seeing was people talking about God, and it's a joke. You're a joke to sit up here and try to talk about God. And because of the behavior, because of the behavior. And so they're constantly trying to get people to convert to Christianity, but it's more so about being right and having people bow down. That's all that it's about. It's not about anything tangible. It's not. It's not about anything tangible. And really trying to come for Black women a lot, trying to come for Black women, in particular, healers like myself, who need to be doing our job, which is healing. So it's I'm gonna tell you something, that it's a lot of you women out there that are having a crisis. The world is in a crisis. The world is in a crisis. First of all, spirituality and even when it comes to Christianity, that's evolved. Keep in mind that Christianity still existed. Jesus still existed in another lifetime. End of story. We are dealing with Saturn. And so that's when Christians will say, well, everything's dark, everything's dark, everything's dark, everything's evil. This world is for the devil. Let me jump off the top of a building. This is literally what they're doing. This is literally what we have been witnessing, along with a bunch of arguing and chaos and men acting like, they know it all just because they've had male privilege. There is a such thing called male privilege. Anytime a disgusting, diabolical, anytime a man can stand in front of women and talk about feces for over a year, and those women not say, whoa, who are you talking to like that? Don't talk to me like that. See, you have no standards. Anytime a man can do that and still get attention paid to him, which he shouldn't even get attention. He shouldn't get no clout. He shouldn't get no notoriety. If a man, that's very disgustingly disrespectful. A man should never, that's called male privilege, honey. If a man is able to stand in front of women and talk about his feces, that's an example of male privilege. And that's disgusting. Bottom of the barrel, no standards whatsoever. And that's why you're having issues right there. If you're sitting up there, and male privilege is almost the same as any kind of privilege. What does that have to do with spirituality? What does that have to do with something real and tangible? It doesn't. It's just that person being given privilege based upon their race or their gender. But what merit, what power does it actually have? It doesn't. It doesn't. Okay, so it's not necessarily that you're cursed, but it's every single day. And I'm not even just talking about people that come on this website and make videos that I don't like. Okay, we're talking about every single day. Systematically, men are being destructive. They are destroying each other. They are tearing. There a lot of women will say, well, he's bad, he's destructive. They're self-destructing themselves. Unfortunately, when it comes to religion, what they're calling out for, when they call for Jesus, they're getting parasite. That's a fact. And that's going to be very controversial that I said that, but when they call on Jesus, that's a parasitic energy that they're calling on. That's the answer that they're getting. It's very parasitic. It's not giving them life, it's taking their lives. And then what do? They come and they take from us, from women. Okay. And I'm not saying all of them because, like I said, my significant other, he is a Christian, but I'm going to tell you something. He doesn't know this, but there's been an extremely negative entity that I've been fighting off of him for months. Extremely negative. And I'm trying to figure out, well, if you're Christian, why am I fighting this bad energy off of you every single day? You know what? Well, not every day, but why am I fighting off something that doesn't seem like, because we know the difference. That's probably why they had a lot of us in church as children. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why they've had us familiar with that religion so that we can know the difference. We know the difference, and you know, and that's fine, but why isn't it you know, why aren't you being exorcised of these entities? Why are you praying but these entities are still there, and they're trying to pull on your life force and my life force? So a lot of even good men have parasitic attachments, so spiritually, that do affect you physically. Now, if you add that, though, religion to an ignorant man, okay, they are my children. Okay, yeah, no. Uh, yeah, we're going to go ahead and block you, honey. Yeah, okay, hold on. Y'all created the entities and God told you not to. Oh, God. Did you really come in here and say that to me? You are so confused, hon. And you know what? I wouldn't even bother to help you. We didn't create no entities, hon. Wedlock ass entities. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, you're using the word whole. So I'm gonna go ahead and block you again because you're ignorant. Okay. All right. Okay. So here's the thing about it. I am going to respond to the 20 Christians versus a spiritualist. I am going to respond to that. Not right now, probably sometime in the next few weeks. But there is no debating over here. Okay. First of all, the reason why there's no debate is because these things are obvious. And then also another thing, they can debate somewhere else. They got time for that. Okay. They got time for that. My thing about it over here, okay, is that I have been doing work to assist too many people. I don't have time for that. Okay. I have been doing so much work for so many people that literally my bottom line has been compromised because I don't put money before everything. Okay. I actually put people's lives and health. And you know what? I've had people who I've helped with their health come back and spit in my face. And I'm talking about family. I've had family do that. So you know what, hon? There is no room for debate over here. Hey, Stefan. Hey, brother. I'm not going to debate with you, hon. I'm not. You don't know what you're talking about. You really don't. And first of all, you're talking about um an entity that I hardly believe that a woman is going to create an entity that would do harm to her. Okay. So that's number one hole in your argument. Okay. And then also, these entities are inhuman. Okay. So that's up for debate, but nobody has time for that. You know, you're saying that you're saying that we gave birth to the entities. Nobody over here is giving birth to that. And you know what? That's another example of men. and their bullshit. Let me elaborate on that. For me, manifesting and earning money for my family is very easy. I am never burdened for that. Okay, I don't ever feel burdened by that. Why do you men feel so burdened? You feel so burdened and conflicted because of religion. Okay, for me, it's easy. I'm led by love. So, for example, when I manifest, because I've been working since I was 16 years old. I didn't start my business until 2015. Okay, manifestation was very easy for me. You know why? Because I'm led by love, and I don't have a problem with taking care of my children. Okay, so I don't look at my children that I gave birth to as parasites. Okay, you look at it that way as a man because you're burdened, because you really don't want to take care of your children, and then also you're probably very toxic, and you're probably having dealings with sacrificing children. See what I'm saying? So you in the wrong place, and you're banished. Get off of my channel. Okay, because from what I've been seeing for especially the past several years, and really honestly for the past year, a lot of you men trying to stop me from supporting my children. Yeah, I've seen you doing that for the past 13 years by participating in trying to create bad reputations for me, and then also trying to read out of your weak ass Bible, because your Bible is weak. Honey, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Hail Lilith, free from man. Satan kneels before thee. Blessed art thou amongst sinners, and blessed is the forbidden fruit arcade. Unholy Lilith, mother of sin, I need no prayers now and at the hour of God's death avail. First of all, your Bible is weak. Do you understand me? Your Bible is weaker than me. And no, I am not Satan. I am a woman. So I don't, hey, you know what? Do not, do not, hun. Don't even go there with me, hun. Okay, don't even come in here with that mess. The problem is that people have went back to the church, and and now everybody is compromised. That's the problem. That's the exact problem. Okay. So, whether or not you want to admit to that or not is on you. Okay, let me see here. It's crazy. Exactly. Well, that person just got angry and upset because what? Because I'm right. Okay, your Bible really doesn't have any power. It's the collective of people that believe in that. But from what I can see, the more and the more y'all pray, the worse the world gets, the worse things happen. And you blame everything on witches when it's really y'all fault. Now, I'm not talking about all Christians, that because some Christians are not hell bent on vengeance. Okay, but a lot of y'all are. And a lot of y'all just want attention. You just want attention. So, So anyway, if you can't handle life, then get up out of here then. For me, it's not a burden. I don't have a problem with it. Like I said, I'm getting ready to go live and do readings, just like I did early this morning. Um, y'all have done a number on everybody. Everybody that y'all touch goes down. Everybody. And it's just the reality of it. Okay? It's just the reality of it. And then not only that, your Bible is built in with a the fact that rape is in the holy scriptures means that it is, to me, it's not so holy. Anytime rape is in your holy scriptures, it's not to me, because my understanding of alchemy and human existence goes beyond rape. You see what I'm saying? The fact that they even talk, even the fact that they even have to put a passage about rape in the Bible means that it is Neanderthalic. Okay, hold on a minute. Okay, okay, I'm back, y'all. So, you just got to understand that is what that is. So, that particular energy, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get people over on Patreon so that we could have daily support on that, so that my patrons could, because I know that you can message the person on Patreon. Okay. So that's why I wanted to get us over there. But um because it's daily, it's every single day. And a lot of people that are doing that, a lot of y'all are going to have issues with surviving and flourishing, because for them it's not about your survival. They don't care if you survive or not. They don't care if you get sick. It's all about, I want to be right and you're wrong. That's what it's about. Okay. It's not even about good versus evil. It's about, I want to be right and I want to prove that you're wrong by bullying people. Essentially, what I'm saying is that when it comes to a lot of Christians, what they do is they bully people. Then also, they are considered to be a secret terrorist society. A lot of these churches and stuff. A lot of these people that are doing that was exposed with Jehovah's Witnesses, because they do a lot underhanded. They do a lot of underhanded stuff. And a lot of people keep talking about the police and government are involved in gang stalking. That's not the police and government that's involved in gang stalking. That's mainly the church. Those are church organizations. And the pastors of their churches are your local drug dealers. The pastors of their churches are the local rapists and murderers in the neighborhood. Okay. So whenever you get through, that's where we're at when it comes to gang stalking. So a lot of people, you want to know where gang stalking is coming from. Gang stalking is coming straight from religion. It's coming straight from religion. It's coming straight from religious people. That is a fact. Okay. So I'm going to be live in a few here, and I'm going to do some readings for you guys. But what I want y'all to do is, don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to come to me to get read and to get your things taken care of, because I'm gonna tell y'all something straight up and down. I've seen it happen over and over again. They do what they do. They take your time. They take your life. They take up a lot of time because they want attention, and they end up gone. They end up gone off of this damn earth, and leave you high. They leave everybody high and dry. And they had no issue with abandoning you, putting you in a weaker position, and then abandoning you. So the fact that they're telling you that, and then they're saying, "Oh, well, you're being so according to them, everybody is being punished for something, for surviving. You're being punished for doing what you're supposed to do to survive, which is ridiculous." Okay, so it's for me. I focus on it daily, because I found that you have to focus on it daily, especially on a Wednesday. So today, because it's crazy, because Christianity, really, they go along with paganism. Today is Wednesday. Today is a very holy day, according to them. Today is connected to uh, every Wednesday. We're kind of like at a crossroads, no matter what the date is. We're at a crossroads every Wednesday, right? And so this is where things start to get put into place, things start to get organized. And this is when you're going to be doing your organization. This is when you're going to be making decisions, usually on a Wednesday. Okay. What you have to do is realize that patriarchy does not care about anything except for its ego. That's it. Your health, your everything else as a woman does not matter. It doesn't at the end of the day. Okay. Unless you have somebody like, and this is not even about relationships. This is about you. This is about you. This is about your personal well being. This is about what's happening with you. So, if you guys are, because I know for a fact that a lot of women have been compromised financially, a lot of us, which is why I have a plan for that. So, make sure that you guys reach out, because if you're not being compromised now financially, you will later. And it's better to prevent that. You don't want to go through a financial crisis like what I did. You don't want to go through that, right? Because these days when you go through a financial crisis, you're looking at death. It used to be where a financial crisis, it wasn't that big of a deal. But since everything has been closed off, blocked off, everything is depleted, that's another thing. Everything has been depleted because they keep feeding these parasitic entities. And all they got to say about the parasitic entities is that women created them. And they describe them as children. So we know that if men are running around here saying things like that, if males are saying things like that, we know that we are in trouble on a deep level. On a deep level, because they keep producing children, and then they banned abortion. Isn't that funny? That's stupid. It makes no common sense. So it used to be a point where women and witches operated on the low low. Well, we're all out in social media, okay? And the reason why is because we had to reach out. We had to reach out to help folks, and this has been going on for quite some time now. You cannot say that you are a witch if you're feeding the system of patriarchy and misogyny. You cannot say that you are somebody that is smart or intelligent or wise when you're feeding patriarchy. So that's what we have to do. We have to starve patriarchy. Literally, we have to starve it, because they've been trying to starve us, if you notice, especially when it comes to narcissism. Haven't talked about. When I was still in Georgia, and it's in Georgia big time, I could sense some kind of energy, and it was trying to starve people. So when narcissists, they're always, you can detect it in a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? You can detect it in a lot of them, because you ever been in you ever been in the kitchen preparing food, and so the male in the household comes into the kitchen and they're being very negative about, when because anytime you're getting ready to eat, that's actually a very sacred time, right? And these days what we've been seeing, and I've even witnessed it, I've witnessed it possess people. I've witnessed it possess people, to where you're preparing a meal and somebody want to argue about something that don't even matter. Somebody want to complain about something that doesn't even matter. And it's usually some of these men that you got in your household because it doesn't want you to nurture yourself. Nurturing is a woman's thing. So why do you think it's so many starving children? Why do you think that last year they were trying to cut, millions of children off of food stamps after they've pretty much broken America, after they've taken everything from everybody, right? And that was something that we worked on. That was something that I spent a lot of money working on. Like it literally took a lot. It took a lot. It took a lot to work on that. And nobody paid me for that. Nobody paid me for that. That I did that free of charge. I put in my heart for that. And it was pretty disgusting what I was seeing happening. The government in America threatening to starve children that were less advantaged. Okay, so that's when we knew we was in trouble. A lot of people say, well, those kids are poor and they don't deserve to eat. That's your fucking opinion. You don't have an opinion. You don't have any power. Because if it wasn't for greed and people being greedy, those children would not be in the position that they're in. Because in order for them to be greedy, you got to be dumbed down. In order for them to have billions of dollars, you have to be dumbed down. You have to be stupid. Don't you? And really, to be honest with you, it's these billionaires and stuff that a lot of them are very parasitic. They have parasites. They are very parasitic. And they will feed off of people. You can decide, I'm not letting them feed off of me. You have the right to decide that. And they don't have the right to tell you, well, I'm sorry, we're going to have to take you to jail or put you in a mental institution. There used to be a time where witches were murdered because of that, because we were stopping them from literally, and I'm going to tell y'all way, way, way back in the day, way back in the day when Christianity first introduced us to Moloch, there was a lot of witches working in opposition of Moloch to where they were like, no, we're not going to give you any more children. We're not going to let you do this anymore. Because back then you could hear babies and children screaming in pain a lot. That y'all think that these days are bad. And trust me, they're still doing it. For me, I stand on my principles. I'd rather struggle than to hurt a child. I'd rather struggle. I'd rather stand by my principles than to hurt a child. Now, as far as with Moloch is concerned, if Moloch is coming after my children and the person that has the person that's coming after me with Moloch, if they have children, hey, Moloch wants children. He can have yours. What you come at me for? These children over here are loved. You're not taking mine. And any child under my belt, any child of a mother that I am protecting is going to be protected from that, because Moloch is very real. And there are such thing called Molochians. Are they powerful? No, you have a choice. So, I don't know what the people are talking about, but whatever it is, you stick with me. You're not only going to survive, but you're going to flourish. There is no divine feminine that's running around here trying to sacrifice children. She's weak and she has no spine. And I'm not talking about those of you that have felt like you needed to get abortions and things of that nature. I'm talking about those females and those women that you see trailing behind these men that are trying to subjugate a woman and her children. All of those women are weak and spineless, and they've only fooled you by being bullies and talking crazy and being as dark and sinister as possible. They've only tricked and fooled you. I've come to a place of acceptance of my battle with them at this point. Okay, I've come to a place of acceptance. So and they really, really, really want to get you to which, to be honest with you, for me, what I've suspected is that the God of the Bible is Moloch, is what I've suspected, is that it's Moloch. A lot of y'all feel like it's Yahweh. Well, you can connect with a God, but to me the Bible speaks for itself. So I don't contend with that because it's something weird about it. Why are you Christian men killing women and children? Why are y'all trying to why do y'all harm and abuse people? Why are y'all constantly nitpicking and trying to chip away at people? Why are y'all doing that? Y'all are doing that because you're feeding your entities. You're feeding Moloch that feeds off of children. And Lilith is an adversary to Moloch. Not because Lilith wants to take children. Lilith protects children. That's a fact. Okay? And it's obvious. It's obvious. Okay? If you look on the news, that's all you seeing is a bunch of women and children coming up dead, and these men sadly saying, well, just pray to Jesus. And those women, trust me, they prayed to Jesus and they still got their head knocked off. That's a fact. Okay. And as a witch, I've been demeaned, I've been subjugated, I've been humiliated just because I'm a witch and I want to help, while the rest of them, they don't give a damn. They don't care. They do not care. And you know what? I have had minimal support in that, but that doesn't mean I'm going to ever give up. I'm going to do my part. Okay? So not only are you dealing with this aspect of it, but then you're dealing with personal family problems and you're dealing with love problems. The reason why you're dealing with love problems is directly related to the parasites that want to feed off of you, but you're also dealing with wayward women. You're also dealing with wayward female energy. So this is the reason why I'm offering wards, because that's all we can do at this point. Yes, if you guys have a little bit more, we can do certain other certain things, but that's what we're dealing with. That's all we can do at this point, is to do the wards. Okay. So that's why I have my wards priced at basically they're 200 and up. Okay. So and if that's all you have and you need several things, so pretty much people will say, well, I got this problem, that problem, and that problem. So you're usually dealing with several problems at once. You have three problems going on that are very priority and dire. That's where we're going to start with those three things, if that's all you can do, because those things are dire. Okay. So now, with my wards, spirit is going to tell me, okay, you need to boost it, Jamila. You need to boost it for 1 to 2 months. After that, I'm going to need to send you the ward for you to boost it. Otherwise, there would be a fee for me to hold on to that, because what I would be doing is holding on to that. And you know what? There is a way that I do that. So I don't want you guys to just think that, oh, I'm just going to send you packing or whatever, because I will send you your ward in the mail. Because what I do is I document it, and I'll make a clone or a twin. I'll make a twin sister to that original ward that I did to help you. Because I always document, what I put into it. I always document your petitions and stuff that I use. And so I always have an image or a documentation of that petition. what I wrote into it. So, that can be sent to you later. It depends on the situation. Okay. That's really all we can do at this point is the wards that will help y'all immediately. Okay. So, I can come on here and do readings, but I'm not even going to lie to y'all. Y'all need help. And then not only that, they've tried to put me in jail, like not physical jail, but they've tried to put me in a place. Why do you think they work so hard to try to discredit me and to degrade me and dog me out? It has nothing to, the people think that it's got something to do with love. They're lying to you. That is being done systematically because when they have if you notice, I've always advocated for children, right? I've always advocated for women. Any witch that is out here advocating for women and children, she's under attack every single day. The weak ass ones that go along with the get along, they don't have no problem with them. But witches like me, they have a problem with me. And it's mainly because they're possessed, and the entity that's possessing them, the entity that is possessing them is telling them, go after her. She's because when people come to me, then they can't sacrifice your babies. You see what I'm saying? And so, a lot of people say, well, I don't think I want to do that because you battling death. I've been battling death every day for the past 20 years. Death and sacrifice. That's what they want to do to you. They want to sacrifice you, whether or not it's energetically. And you can't just say, oh, well, that ain't that big of a deal. Yes, it is, because what you'll have is, if you don't protect your energy and even take your energy back, you're going to end up with some kind of health problem. And a lot of y'all don't realize it, but there's a lot of people that literally today, just everything went dark and they passed out and dropped dead. There's a lot of people that drop dead, or it's a lot of, I'm not trying to scare y'all because I'm not led by fear. I'm led by love. But I could sense that there was a lot of people that it just got real dim and dark and they passed out or something. A lot of y'all can't even, your energy is depleted so much that you feel like you're going to pass out at any moment. And the reason why that is happening to you is because they have depleted your energy. You are made out of light frequency. You are made out of light. When they can, like you may be able to get away with that for 25 years since you was born, since you was in your mama's belly, they've been feeding off of your light. You get up to about the age of 25, 30, 35. That's when you're feeling the funk. That's when you like, whoa, what's happening here? Okay. So that's why that's happening to you. And you've got to have the, now wards, it's not just about warding off energy. Wards also manifest. So we've got, you're doing some kind of manifestation with that particular ward. So you guys need to get at me ASAP, okay? Because it's something about this Friday that's coming up. That's an important date. And I've got my date for this Friday. Like I've gotten my call for that date, from an elder. And I respect that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's telling you something. It's telling you something. That deadline. That deadline. And I understand a lot of y'all like, well, Jamila, I got, a lot of y'all, when it comes to paying your rent, that's due on the 1st. You get a grace period until the 5th. Okay. But that doesn't mean that you should neglect your spiritual work. Okay. And so y'all can get at me, like, y'all do know that I especially with women, if y'all need my help, I will offer you payment arrangements, whatever it is that you need to do. Y'all know I am all for women. And I know I've been on here arguing with women, but that's because those women need to get their crap together. They are not in their divinity, and they are trying to stop me from helping women and children and men. I help men too. Okay, men are a little bit less palatable, and it is because they are possessed by death, especially when they hit the age of 40. They think that once you turn 40, you're old and everything is going to fall apart. Okay, and a lot of women even think that way too, which is sad. It's really sad, but it is what it is. Okay, so I'll be live in a little bit to do readings, but to be honest with you, I don't like doing that. It does help bring people in so that they can benefit from my services, but people are still watching you, and I don't like that. I don't, and it's not me. That's happening anyway. When you get live readings and stuff, and you're asking questions, people are watching that, and they're trying to go in through like a doorway there, and a lot of y'all do have open doorways. You guys don't have your bindu chakra, which leads to the astral, and y'all don't have your ajna, y'all don't have y'all astral doorways protected. And I've noticed that. So if you come in here, you're not a client of mine. I'm not protecting you already. I can't protect you unless you're a client. If you come in here, you're doing that at your own risk, because you never know what or who is watching. Because this is not for entertainment purposes only. Okay, when you come in here, it could be something watching you. And you don't have that protected. Okay? So, and you know what? I'm sorry. You men that are running around here thumping a Bible, y'all just perverted. Y'all are. Y'all just perverted. And you know what? When you decide as a woman, I had never seen anything like it before in my life. I had never heard anything like it before in my life. As a woman, when your standards are so low that a man can sit and talk to you about feces, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That first of all, that ain't no competition for me. I don't know why people like that are trying to compete with me. But people need to set standards for themselves. And you know what? That they thought that they could tear me down, and they really are trying with revenge porn. They thought that they could discredit me with revenge porn. On a Wednesday, I'm going to tell you straight up and down, ignore that. That ain't nothing but there to distract you. That's the dumbest thing ever. That's just like trying to shame somebody that you've sexually assaulted. Why would anybody that's sexually assaulting somebody have any merit? Who gives them merit or credibility? When that's what a lot of women are trying to run or trying to walk away from. Now, I have had a sick woman tell me that she has rape fantasies. She got binded. She got binded. Don't come at me with no rape fantasy. Nah. Hey, let me tell you something. If you're a woman and you're having fantasies about being raped, get help now. That is so exploitative. That's somebody that practices exploitation. That's perverted. That's perverted. Okay. So, and there's no blurred line. There's no blurred line. We know exactly what we're talking about when it comes to rape. There's no blurred line with that. We know what is and we know what is not rape. So I don't even want to hear it. Right, Stefan. They banned abortion, but yet because a lot of times women do abort because they don't because they can't take care of the child. Look at the way the world is set up. Look at what's happening. So if you can't take care of the baby, a lot of women are like, I don't want to bring this baby into this world where I can't take care of it. Especially with all the gang stalking is going on, because the churches are soliciting the gang stalking at the end of the day. That's why it's so funny whenever gang stalkers say, oh, you running with the devil. The devil, Satan ain't gang stalking nobody. That's the church doing that. And I'm telling y'all the truth about it. That's these so-called men of the cloth that's doing that. They ain't no damn Satan. They're not satanic. Well, I know that at least with mine, they call themselves in judgment of me while they gang stalk and commit rape and fraud in front of everybody, talking about praise Jesus. So we all know the truth about that. Anyway, that's how I'm doing things, these days, though, is when you get spiritual work for me, the first thing that I do is I do a ward for you. And if that's all that you can afford at the moment, that's better than nothing. Okay. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all in a little bit. Quit watching these people that are talking about me too. They ain't talking about nothing. Those people are gonna distract you and distract you and distract you until you homeless. They want more homeless women. And I'm not homeless. They want more homeless women. They want all of you homeless. In fact, they hate you. Notice how they show hatred for people on Section 8? A lot of these men, while they go out here and benefit directly from patriarchy. And yes, black men do benefit from patriarchy. Yes, they do. I heard somebody say that they don't, but yes, they do. Yes, they do. You have to take it from a black woman. We have experience with them. Yes, they do. They do definitely benefit from being men. Now, does that mean that you can't find love? No, that's not what that means. You can still find love. Because there's a lot of men out there that don't contend or conform with that. They're constantly under pressure to conform. You have to have love wards. If you having problems with your man, there's wards that you can do for love. Because trust me, they want to turn him. If you have a man, they trying to turn them into a zombie. Trust me, they want them to be just like them. They're disgusting and bitter. Okay? Yeah, Stefan, and the only reason why he banned abortion was not for moral reasons, but it was more so to put women in a bind, to say fuck, to put women in a bind is what he did it for. He did it to put women in a place, a bind, but I want to say he did it to just to tell, just for the sake of it, just to tell women what to do with their bodies, just to be disrespectful is the reason why he did it. Okay. So, which is crazy within itself. But I personally feel like it's probably not the best idea to be even, sexually active with a man that you would not want a child with. But who am I to judge? I can't judge you for what you do. You know what I mean? Anyway, you guys, I'll see y'all later. Y'all are more than welcome to get in touch with me. Those wards are amazing. They are. They work, trust me. They work, and they work excellently. They are excellent, okay? Um, but I'll see y'all. I'll be seeing y'all. Okay. All right. Have a good day today. Bye bye.